It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, Travis Point Country Club. We're about 20 miles or so to the west of Detroit for the third LPGA Volvic Championship. We've got the defending champion, Shan Feng, looking for her first victory of 2018. This was the first of 3 wins last year. And then just last week, Arya Jatanagarn got her first victory of this season, a winner here in the inaugural LPGA Volvic Championship. Arya Jatanagarn, number 5 in the world rankings, part of a star-studded field on the eve of another major championship. Grant Boone and Judy Rankin looking at some of the action from earlier. This was Amy Olsen at the par 316.
178 yards in the first round.
Played so well at the A&A Inspiration. Top 10 did there. She would make that shot 66. How about the Englishwoman, Jody Ewart Shadoff for eagle at the par 5 14.
Beautiful, beautiful speed.
A 5 under par 67 for Shadoff. Minjee Lee, a runner-up to Shan Feng here last year. This was her last hole of the day. In great form, lost that playoff to Lydia Ko in San Francisco about a month ago, a 5 under par 67. Lots of low scores. Jessica Korda finishing up on the 9th hole. Second shot.
Par 4, pretty flat straight away. A good opportunity for birdie, and I'm going to give her that one.
The American flags it there at the 9th, shoots 67. So there's our leaderboard. You see Morgan Pressel, 30 years old, suits her. She turned 30 yesterday, and here she is 5 under par as she plays her first round since her birthday. These players you see with the little arrow next to the number began on the 10th hole, and some good scores this morning, some good scores this afternoon. Near perfect scoring conditions. All right, we are at the par 3 12th. Find our defending champion, Shan Feng.
6 iron in her hand, 170 yards. Stay on the green. No, just drifts off. Yeah, hole high, not a great shot, but should not cause a problem.
Yeah, it looked like it finished just on the green.
All right, so Shan Feng, part of our coverage today here in Ann Arbor. Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour proudly present the season-long race to the CME Globe. From Ann Arbor, Michigan, it's first-round coverage of the LPGA Volvic Championship. Great to be back here in the shadow of the University of Michigan, downtown Ann Arbor, just a few miles away. School's out. Still bustling with activity. Travis Point Country Club opened back in 1977, and it has been the home to the LPGA Volvic Championship. This, the 3rd year of this event, first of 2 trips to Michigan this spring and summer for the LPGA Tour. Along with the Hall of Fame member Judy Rankin, got Jim Gallagher Jr., Jerry Foltz, and 2-time LPGA Tour winner Gail Graham on the course today. Just ideal conditions. It's been anything but the last month or so. We go to the 13th and say hello to Jim.
Thanks, Greg. And this is Natsuhata Oka here. This putt coming down ought to go right to left down the hill. Look at this putt. There you go. It's playing some good golf as of late. Difficult hole to get it close to.
Playoff runner-up last week. Our course setup brought to you by the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. As we take a closer look at this Bill Newcomb design. He's a University of Michigan alum.
Well, it measures a little more than 6,700 yards, and it's probably playing all of that this week because it is quite soft underfoot, but in beautiful condition. thanks to John Seefeld and his staff. Bent grass, bluegrass combination on the greens and the fairways, and the greens are pretty pristine.
They had snow a month ago here in Ann Arbor. They had a lot of rain of late, and even as early as Monday of this week, parts of the golf course and surrounding area were underwater. Tremendous job by the entire crew to get this tournament ready, so to speak. As we look at the defending champion lining up this putt for birdie, Jerry Foltz is out there. Jerry?
From just off the edge, her long time and loyal caddy, the boss as she calls him, Mercer Leftwich, helping as much as he can on what is in general a pretty flat green on a gorgeous, gorgeous day, Judy. And all everybody has been able to say all day is it's about time on the LPGA.
Yeah, these players and caddies and surely the field staff, they deserve it because they have played in some pretty bad stuff in the last few weeks and then not played at all several times.
This putt just maybe ever so slightly uphill, and if anything, tiny bit of break to the left for a putt this long.
Oh.
Made that look routine.
All right, while we have a moment, let's take a look at today's featured groups presented by JDX. Got the defending champ there with Brittany Lincecum, who defended her title in the Bahamas to start the season, and Se-Young Kim, 6 wins in this her 4th season on the LPGA Tour. Ariya Jutanugarn, the winner last week. Charlie Hull from England and Nelly Korda. Sister Jessica won earlier this year. Nelly had a chance to win the next week. She is still looking for her first victory, her 2nd season on tour. Our featured groups presented by JDX.
13th hole, Ariya Jutanugarn. Her 2nd shot here at the par 4.
Yeah, a little bit uphill from 126 yards. Jim has been striping the ball beautifully off the tee.
Most players lay off. It's always tough to get it all the way back there, Gail, with this whole location all the way in the back left portion.
Absolutely. There's a little hump right in the middle of the green. This is going just a little left of the flag.
Yeah, not too bad. All right, she'll have a breaking putt, but that's an uphill putt, so she can be aggressive with that one. Take her away, Grant.
All right, Jim, Gail, thank you. Great to be back in Michigan. 3rd year of the LPGA Volvic Championship. Great crowds here, great spirit here in the shadow of University of Michigan, and great scores today in near-perfect scoring conditions, Judy.
Yeah, we have just a tiny breeze, not any wind to speak of. It is glorious sunshine, and this place is just green and gorgeous. It's just a wonderful club, Travis Point. It's what I would call kind of the kind of members club you would like to be a member, because you wouldn't get tired of playing the golf course. It's too pretty, and it just seems like there's an awful lot of nice people around here. So I'm glad to be back.
Well, Ariya Jutanugarn's nickname May suits her, doesn't it?
Yep.
She won her first 3 events in the month of May. She won last week. We're going to get a big look at Ariya Jutanugarn today, coming off the victory at Kingsmill in the playoff.
Yeah, she's just such a beautiful player. I will say that for the most part in her career, it seems as though Ariya is a little bit streaky, and oftentimes those streaks are in the good way. When she starts to play well, she keeps it going for a few weeks, and I think that's why the first time she won here, it was 3 in a row. She was just learning to do that, but she has done it since. She'll take little blocks of the year and play extremely well. She is long and strong, which we tell you constantly, but she is a beautiful putter.
Well, she had a streak last summer that wasn't so good in the other direction, where she missed
Yep.
6 out of 7 cuts, 4 of which were major championships. We're going to see Shen Feng as well today, and we're looking at Charlie Hull at the 13th, Jim.
Yeah, Charlie Hull's 2nd shot, Gail.
115. Again, up the hill. Needs to carry it just over the top of that little hump.
And she does, and it stays there nicely. 2 good shots in here at 13. Chances for birdie.
Jim, let's take a look at some of our news and notes. Another first for NB Park. She won on the LPGA Tour of Korea on Sunday. 19 wins here in the Hall of Fame on the LPGA Tour. She had never won on her home country's tour until she won on Sunday. Laura Davies to make history. She'll become the first woman to play in a European Senior Tour event. That'll be in June. And Arizona wins its third NCAA Women's Championship. They went overtime to do it. Bianca Pagdanganan will be the chosen player from Arizona to play at the Marathon Classic. And Jennifer Kupcho from Wake Forest, who won the individual title, will play as well. 11.
Georgia Hall, for her part, to stay at 3 under par. Very difficult hole today. Left hand low. Just a slight inside this hole. Got to be firm with it, though. Yep, there you go.
Nice. 5 players from Europe played in an event that was inviting women for the first time, the golf sixes, which you might have watched on the European Tour, and Georgia Hall was one. It was really entertaining.
It sure was. We'll be right back.
Good speed.
Hello, I am Kyung Moon, chairman of Volvic.
Hi, I'm Don Shin, president of Volvic USA. This is our 3rd year as a title sponsor for LPGA Volvic Championship, and we're very excited to bring a field of the best women golfers in the world. Volvic is the fastest growing golf ball manufacturer and truly changing the way the game is played. With a series of different color matte finish golf balls, Vivid, Vivid XT, Vivid Soft, and Light, we have brought color, performance, power, and control for all levels of play. On behalf of Volvic, we'd like to thank the people of Ann Arbor, the beautiful Gulf state of Michigan, volunteers, tournament staff, team at Travis Point Country Club, Casey and Ashley Crane, and all of our great retail partners who have helped us to make this great championship possible. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend, and please enjoy the Volvic Championship. Thank you.
Thank you.
Area now for birdie here at the 13th.
This should swing big right at the beginning and then continue to feed off left to right.
Yeah, she never got it quite high enough. Really hard to believe.
Awfully quick, Jim, in her setup and routine for that one.
Absolutely. She's got a good 3.5 feet left for par. You can play that out there about 7 feet. Hard to believe that much break, though. Let's go back to 8.
Playing on the first day after turning 30, Morgan Pressel, the 8th hole, her 17th of the day, and what a round she has going. 5 under par.
I like it. Okay.
Par 4, little dogleg right, Judy?
Yeah, I was just going to say that Morgan, even though she's not had the best run of late, she does not wear out on practicing and working at it. And she still loves to be in the mix. does take a little turn to the right, and in the driving area it gets a little narrow. There are not a lot of narrow driving areas on this golf course.
And that for birdie to get to 6 under and join the 3 leaders to 13.
Yeah, Shen Feng here on the par 4, 13th.
Clubbing well back on a hole that I think the players would consider a narrow driving area. Generous fairway, but water on both sides, and this one's going to miss it.
Yeah, it just depends on the lie. Yeah, it's a decent lie. Got a lot of green to work with. Now Charlie Hall for birdie here at 13.
Pretty much straight up the hill.
She's had a little bit of everything today. Couple bogeys, a double bogey, 3 birdies, and that was a missed opportunity. Got to get that ball to the hole.
She's back after almost a month away, almost a month in Europe and England, where she's from.
And she played in those same golf sixes that Georgia Hall played in, as you mentioned earlier, and this is Georgia. Tough to get it close at 12, isn't it?
Yeah, that hole location, you better set it down very gently.
Where Shen Feng was putting from may not be the worst place in the world. She just left hers short. Morgan Pressel has a putt to join the leaders in a moment. Today's coverage is brought to you by Vivid XT, official ball of world-long drive for explosive distance. CME Group, how the world advances. And by Win Grips, the best grips in golf.
Thirteenth hole, Shen Feng's second shot here out of the rough.
Decent lie though, Jim. 133. Slight breeze helping. Pitching wedge.
Yeah, there's a slope just short of the green, but like you said, coming out of the rough should release. Oh, wow. Did release. Stay up there.
Just misses that critical little knob in the green, the wrong side of it anyway.
Yeah, it's just hard to control it coming out of the rough.
Let's update the race to the CME Globe standings. And after last week's victory at Kingsmill area, Jatanagarn has moved to the top of the list. She won that race to the CME Globe a couple of years ago. Shen Feng, 10th, has not won yet this year. Neither has Minji Lee. The others on this list all have won on the LPGA Tour. repeatedly a playoff runner-up to Lydia Ko in San Francisco. Fung has had a fine season, just hasn't won. To 12. And as we look at Cheyenne Woods, think about those who have qualified for the U.S. Women's Open next week. Cheyenne is one of those. She led the qualifying. More than half of the field, though, Judy, this week hasn't qualified.
Well, there's one more shot for 5 players, if I understand it correctly, through the world rankings.
The simplest way is just to win this week and you get in if you're not otherwise qualified. Never quite that simple, is it?
That sounds so simple.
Yes, it does. All right, next week, Shoal Creek in Birmingham, Alabama. And there you go, 144 players in the field, 76 have not yet qualified. 5 spots remain for players to move up into the top 50 in the Rolex World Rankings. If not, none of those are filled, then they'll take alternates. Morgan Pressel is one of those who has not qualified, and she is a big game hunter in a way. She tends to play well in big events. This is for a share of the lead.
Well, if memory serves me correctly, we all first became aware of Morgan Pressel when she qualified when she was still 12 years old. I think she didn't play in the Open until she was 13, but she was 12 when she qualified.
212 and Georgia Hall.
Pretty good long putt.
Had to stay 3 under. Ahead to 13.
Yeah, let's come second here at the 13th.
Just 99 yards and a little sand wedge.
Keep it just left of the hole.
Might need to spin.
Yeah, it needs a spin. Come off the fringe. Nope, didn't quite come off that fringe. Greens are firm, though, although the fairways are soft.
Where am I supposed to go when they go up on the green? Just kind of out of the way.
Over by the walkout. Any place they're going to walk out.
Sherman Santiwi Watanapong now for her birdie to get the -3. Hadn't seen a lot of putts made. Most of them break hard left. Yep. Sherman had her best finish last week, 7th at Kings Mill. So
had a 9th a few weeks before that.
I think she did, yeah.
Young player from Thailand.
Back and forth from Symetra, but having a good year so far.
Longest last name on tour.
Yes, I know.
20 letters.
Yes.
You handled it beautifully. It's best to break it up. There you go. Santa Wiwatanapong. Sherman is the easier.
It's safer that way, yes.
I think he's showing off, Jim.
No. Morgan Pressel for par. As recently as 2015, she finished in the top 11 in 4 of the 5 majors. So still capable in those big, tough events of playing very well.
Yeah, Shinshin for birdie. This is a tough read here, Jerry.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad I'm going to defer to you on it.
Yeah, it's a pretty big breaking putt going up the slope, and I think they got the book out trying to pick a spot, usually trying to find where the apex of the break is.
Well, that big giant mound in that left middle of the green definitely is going to have an effect on it, because typically when you're putting from hole high, it's going to break toward the front of the green.
Yeah, like you said, about halfway right over Mercer's head's the hump, and it could swing it out right a little bit early, but it's going to go hard left at the end. Kind of hopped a little on it.
It did.
Lost that speed. Yeah, it's just tough. It's tough to read that one. You just get out of there. Drove it in the rough. You're trying to make par. Let's go up to 14.
And the par 5, Nasahata Oka, one of the 3 playoff participants, along with NG Chun. They fell to Ari Jatanagarn, but she's trending toward a victory, isn't she? Just 19 years old.
She sure is, and that seemed like new territory for her last week, but she was extremely composed all the way through.
Just turned 19 in January. That was when this woman was winning on the LPG Tour in the Bahamas.
Yeah, let's go for birdie coming down the slope.
Pretty speedy, turning left. Not much.
Oh, did it?
Oh, not at all.
No.
Wow.
That was a good putt. Just got it out, and it never did come back. That's the problem when you try to hit it so easy. Like you said, though, the front of that green has a big influence, believe it or not, on this putt. But that was a tricky read. Missed opportunity at the 13th for Brittany, but it's a par 5 coming up, 1 under par. So had a lot of low scores this morning. 7 scores, 67 or better. We've got a 3-way tie at the top of the lead. We'll be right back.
Well, this has become one of our fun new traditions on the LPGA Tour, the Pro-Am Pairings Party at the Big House, Michigan Stadium. Some of the players were in attendance and taking some pics. And Sen and some of the others, they give knuckles to Bo Schembechler, then slap the doorway there, above the doorway, and dash out onto the field. Look at Vicky Hurst showing off the cannon. Then how about Lefty, Olafia Christensdottir, trying to make a 25-yarder. Not as easy as it looks. These are not the new Michigan uniforms, by the way. This is Chelit Choi putting on the maize and blue helmet. She's got the Heisman pose going, though. Very nice. Par 5 18th, Gabby Lopez from the University of Arkansas. Third shot at this par 5 with water all the way down the right. Easy to miss left.
It's easy to put that second in the left rough.
Will be not far from the University of Arkansas in about a month's time. Walmart Northwest Arkansas Championship. Par 5 14th, area Jatanagarn.
192 to the front to carry those bunkers. And 212 to the hole. This is a 3-iron. That's not in my wheelhouse, but this.
That was a good-looking swing. And she's not going to be on the putting surface, but boy, is that makeable.
Her wheelhouse is in a very sparsely populated neighborhood, isn't it?
I'm telling you, she is just so impressive. And when people play alongside of her, they really find it impressive because they crack their driver, and she hits the 2-iron right with them.
Jessica Korda shot a 67 today. She leads the tour in eagles. Harry and Moria have played every event this season.
Lindy Duncan now for birdie at the 15th. This is one of the better shots we've seen. As you come up from the fairway right there where the caddy's standing, is there a little bit of a hump, so it's tough to get the ball close here.
She just keeps playing better and better, and every time I talk to her, she is pretty happy with the way things are going, but she just talks, I'm trying to work harder.
Yeah, 25th last week, 4 top 20s, so she has played a lot of solid golf. Working hard is the key. And you're playing good like this, you got a lot of confidence. You just kind of keep playing. A lot of good things happen. Shouldn't be a whole lot in this putt. You know, Judy, when you get out there and you got on those good rolls, you feel, you know, the mindset for players is such a different than the other way around, and you just got to keep playing. She is obviously playing with a lot more confidence. It takes a while. The transition from college, come out on the LPGA.
Well, she was second in Dallas, and it was a shortened golf tournament, so you don't really know how it might have played out if it was 72 holes. We had horrific weather there, but it still was a confidence booster.
Mm-hmm.
Abby Lopez birdie putt went racing past the hole. She'll have that for par. Back to the par 5 14th and the tee shot of Shan Chen Feng.
Tee shot plays a little uphill, slightly into the breeze, but she might still be able to get home in 2 with a good one.
Yeah, if you can land it on the top where that hill crests, and I think she just did, you get a little run out, and we'll see.
Okay.
9th hole, Morgan Pressel's second shot. Perfect tee shot. Playing downwind today. Low location on that left side. There is a little bit of a hump on the right, but 5 under par. Best round this afternoon. Playing some solid golf today.
You know, it's been such a long time since Morgan won, and she has put herself in position to win on a few Sundays. And she has not played well on those Sundays, and it has really been hard for her to deal with. I've seen her a couple of times when she just, you know, didn't make it happen.
Yeah, almost
in
10
the final
years.
round.
Yeah, 10 years is a long time.
But there's no quit in her.
Nope, and that's the thing. You got to keep grinding. You got to keep believing, and she does. Over to 14.
Third shot for Charlie Hull.
Kind of a interesting lie.
Ooh. Interesting shot. She's looking at it. 15.
Katrina Matthew, her second shot here at 15. She had a good week last week. Qualified for her 23rd U.S. Open back in London. So.
Yeah, she was pretty proud of that 36 holes. She also played in the Golf Sixes, and interesting pairing. She is the next Solheim Cup captain, and she played with the Ryder Cup captain.
That is interesting. There you go. Now Georgia Hall here at 13. What a shot. There you go. That's the best of the day we've seen. Shouldn't be much of that one. Usually give those. Back to 14.
We have a birdie putt here now, Gail, for Charlie Hull.
Well, trying to still make birdie after a not such a great chip. Not a lot of movement to this.
2 lashes to get you up there hole high, and that it's frustrating, isn't it?
Yes, very frustrating. I think 2 of the hardest things in golf are if you plan to play safe and lay up and you do it poorly, or 3 putting.
Hataoka now her second here at the 15th. Got a little bit downwind. She's coming in from a good angle here on the right side. Those players lay it up to about right there to keep it right there in the flat. And to bring it in from right to left. Nicely done. There you go.
Pretty shot.
3 good shots in there, Judy. Those are 3 of the best we've seen. Back to 14.
And eagle putt for Arya Jatanagarn. Oh, Gail, that looked good.
It was a great effort. Her pace was a lot better on that one than she was on the putt on 13.
It's been a wild round for her. Bogeys and birdies and even a double bogey in there. She'll go to 2 under par. 2 under par gets you a tie for 31st in near perfect scoring conditions. 3-way tie for the lead. Brittany Lincecum, par 5 14th, second shot.
That was well within reach, but not with that shot unless it gets a great bounce from 217.
Oh, coming in high through the bunker.
That was really low heater there. Shan Feng is in great shape, almost green high in the fairway.
Katrina Matthew now for birdie here at the 15th. It's been a pretty good breaking putt. Got to get it out there a lot further than some of the players have seen today. Most of them lose the speed low and left. And she can join the list. It just doesn't seem like it breaks that much, but it does for sure. Back on the tee area. Looks like a fairway wood here.
She doesn't need much else.
No, it's almost an iron, I would think, off this tee.
If you hit it too far here, you get a little bit more towards the downslope.
Wow, trying to turn that was smoked.
This is a beautiful position.
Could get down to the bottom of the downslope. Well, it stays up. A little bit of a downhill. It's going to be a bit unlucky right in the middle of the downslope. It's going to be a tough shot to spin. It might have gone in a divot.
I think you were right about the iron.
Yeah, Morgan Pressel now her third here at the 9th. Pretty basic pitch shot. Land it right onto the green, release it to the hole. Needs to slow down some. Green just sped up. Back to 15. NASA now for her birdie. There you go. There's a good read. Her 4th birdie of the day. No bogeys, so solid round of golf today. Paula Creamer now for birdie. Couple over on her round today.
When the ending is right to
Them trying to figure out that line. I usually try to find a spot, but let's go over to 9. And take a look at Morgan Pressel's attempt for par. Shouldn't be much in this. Just hit it solid. There you go. Good solid opening round for Pressel. That's a good up and down. 5 under par. Just one back, so she'll have a morning tee time tomorrow. Fresh greens, so good start.
Ties her low round of the year.
Paula now for birdie here at the 15th. Usually try to pick a spot out there, Judy, and just kind of roll it over that spot. Kind of make it a straight putt or feel like it's a straight putt.
Yeah, all these breaking putts have to do with if you can get it started on the right line.
Yep, she obviously didn't. That was a good opportunity missed at the 15th for Paula.
I mean, she had a good teach from Katrina Matthew.
She did, yep. She'll have par here at the 15th. Georgia Hall, you saw that wonderful shot she had in here now for birdie. 32 on the front nine, made bogey at 10, but birdie's the 13th, so she gets one back. She'll head over to the par 5. Good solid start this afternoon. To 16.
A birdie putt from just off the green for Lindy Duncan. Lift clean in place, by the way, does apply to those closely mown areas around the green, so you can pick it up and clean it and put it back. Moved into the top 100 for the first time in her career with that second place finish in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is the par 5 14th, and there's that spot that Jerry mentioned where Shan Feng's second shot has come to rest.
I just love that little quirk about Shan and Mercer. She'll never take the club out of the bag herself. No reason. It's just the way they do it.
I think there's a reason now. I think she's been really successful with that little quirk, and she's now going to change it.
She's a bit short-sighted here. She's almost green high, as I mentioned. Bit of a downhill lie, but back into a little breeze. She really has to clip this one to get it close. It's pretty good from this distance and this type of shot. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good shot.
She doesn't change much. Same club, same caddy for a long time. Number 1 for a long time. Nearly half a year. 3-way tie for the lead. Good round for Morgan Pressel today. Third shot, par 5 14th for Brittany Lincecum.
Downhill lie in the rough. Very little green with which to work. Have to get cute to get this one close. Oh, yeah.
Cute as a button. She'll have that for birdie. Not quite tap in, but for birdie. Ahead to 15.
Area now. Looks like she drove it on the downslope. She'll be first to play.
She got a little unlucky. It's hard to believe that ball actually stopped where it is. It's actually quite severe downhill, and the ball is slightly above her feet. Adds to the drama of the shot a little bit. She's got 115 to the hole, 111 if she takes it on a line with the flag to carry the bunker. And being downwind, it's going to be hard to make this stop.
Well, Gail, I remember in the past year she always hit iron off this tee, and I was really surprised to see the fairway wood. I know it's the wind direction maybe affecting that, but you want to get it up there at the top if you can. But this is a tough one, as you said, to spin it, especially with this whole location over that left corner.
Absolutely. Doesn't help that the wind's picking up right now.
No, she spun it.
I think she must have thought she could get the 3 wood
To the bottom.
Yeah,
that's the only reason I think she did that. Yep.
Par 3 16th. Nasa Hataoka had an ace last week at Kingsmill. There is a nice prize on the line for an ace at the 16th this week. That will creep up to the top tier and give her a good look at birdie. 14. Shan Shan.
Yeah, and this for birdie now after 3 very well executed shots, but didn't convert.
So a par 5 here at the 14th for Shan Shan Feng. She's a major champion. She won so many of her tournaments overseas and in the fall, but she came here last year, shot 66 in round 3, had a 1-shot lead over Lizette Salas going into the final round. At the 9th, for her 4th birdie of the front 9. And then her 2nd shot uphill at the 13th. Near perfection. That will take her to 20 under par. It gave her a little wiggle room at the 18th. That tap in and the victory over Minji Lee in Sunghyun Park. It was the first of 3 wins for Shan Shan Feng. She eventually would ascend to number 1 in the world rankings. In fact, each of the 2 winners here would go on to become number 1 in the world. Ariya Jutanugarn and Shan Shan Feng. Nice distinction for a tournament, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Ariya won it going away. A big back 9 on Sunday. And we have 2.5 feet for Lincecum for birdie. Wow.
Well, she clearly pitched the ball a pretty nice spot from the far left side over there, but doesn't walk away with the bird.
Paula Creamer at 16. Oh, a little kiss. Nasa Hataoka. And 2 good looks at birdie coming up. The all-new Infiniti QX50, a luxury midsize crossover. That goes to the first ace at the 16th on each day. We had an ace last year, not on this hole, over the 3rd hole. Marina Alex had a hole-in-one at last year's event. Par 5 14th from England, Georgia Hall.
Got a lot of speed in this golf swing. I think that was from a hidden bunker.
In good position, just 2 shots off the lead. Let's go to 15.
Shan Shan Feng now on the tee at the 15th. Looks like a driver. She's trying to get it all the way down to the bottom. It needs to turn over. Okay. That'll work right on the right center of the fairway. So good opportunity there to maybe take a chance to make birdie at the 15th. We've got a three-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. LPGA Volvic Championship.
It's big.
It is very big.
Today's coverage is brought to you by the Symetra Tour, Road to the LPGA, NEC, orchestrating a brighter world, and by Consumer Cellular, where low rates and award-winning service are just the beginning. Known simply as the Big House, Michigan Stadium opened in 1927, an official capacity of more than 107,000. It's hosted crowds in excess of 115,000, the largest stadium in the U.S., the second largest in the world. We were there on Tuesday night, and it is a spectacle. And area is becoming that as well, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely, no question about it. Now her chance for birdie leads the tour in birdies this year. 5 already today.
And a pretty good chance at this one. She got a nice read off of Charlie's putt that came up the hill and turned a little to the right and drifted to the right as it got closer to the hole.
She's right at the top of the crest, so nice aggressive stroke.
Get it.
Oh, man, it did everything but go in. So for pars, go back 1 to 14.
And the third shot for Georgia Hall.
Not what you're looking for at a par 5 with some kind of wedge in your hand.
To the 16th, and here's Nasa Hataoka. This to get within one of the 3 leaders.
Yeah.
She just continues to play well, Judy.
Yeah, her putting numbers are not standout numbers. But since I've been watching her more closely the last couple of weeks, she is a wonderful putter, too.
3 birdies in her last 4 holes. She's 1 shot off the lead. She's got the par 4 17th and the par 5 18th to 9.
9th hole, Madeline Sagstrom now for her birdie, former LSU Tiger, Solheim Cup member last year. This to get the 5 under par. She's got plenty of game to win out here. Won't be surprised as it'll be soon. So good chance. So she'll tap that in. Should be a good opening round of 68. So good start for her. Watched her play a lot of golf in college, and she is well on her way to a great career out here. Back to 16.
Birdie putt for Paula Creamer. It's been a year of changes for her on and off the golf course, trying to get healthy again. She says she's healthy and waiting for the low scores to come.
You know, there's visually an awful lot of improvement in her golf swing. That signature dip through the impact area is really softened. Oh, she got the perfect read from Hataoka, but couldn't quite roll it on the same line.
Best finish in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, tie for 23rd. PGA Tour is in that neck of the woods. The Fort Worth Invitational at Colonial. Charlie Hoffman off to a good start. 4 of the top 6 in the world rankings are there, and we've got coverage for you tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Plaid jacket to the winner, whose name goes on the Wall of Champions. Hosted a U.S. Women's Open, which Michigander Meg Mallon won.
That's right.
Shen Chen-Feng now, second shot at the 15th.
It laid well back off the tee, Jim. 160 yards to the back left hole location.
Yeah, we talked about area. I think that's why she's trying to get down there as far. This is a long club coming into this hole location.
7-iron, a little bit of breeze helping slightly from the left. Not much of a factor, though. Just makes it a little more difficult to stop it.
Go. Go.
Oh, it's a bit unlucky. That's going to funnel down off that slope down to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're better off hitting a 7-iron from the flat than getting stuck on that hill, maybe with a 9-iron.
Yeah, that's just a tough hole location to bring it in from that distance, but I mean, I caught all that as solid. Listening, begging it to get back there. Go back to 14.
Birdie putt for Georgia Hall.
That hole is about as close to an edge of the green as I've seen one in a long time. Usually 9 feet is the closest. That's almost a stretch to be 9 feet.
Tap in par, she stays 4 under. 2 shots back.
Dundee Duncan second here at 17. Hole location on the front portion of the green. Currently 4 under par. 20 birdies here today. That, oh, a bit unlucky, but gets on the front part of the green. If it lands on the green, it releases to the hole. Let's go back to 16.
And area to Tonagarn.
Grant this hole today playing 178 back on the back tier. 23 yards onto the green. It's still getting a little bit of help from the wind. This is an 8-iron. It's a great line.
Hole high. 5 birdies, a bogey, and a double. 15.
Let's come second at 15.
Gap wedge from 109 from that downhill slope.
Yeah, that's the problem, as Judy said. Get it on the slopes harder. She carried that a good 30 feet by the hole. Total miss. I think that last hole kind of just threw her
We're
off
gonna
a
hit the
little
sand
bit
wedge
now.
and it would have gone like plugged in the bunker.
No, that's not what it would. This is a lot better crap.
Yeah, it sounded like she went with the club to keep it out of the front of the bunker.
We're looking at Charlie Hall here, Gail, at the 16th.
And she's got 7-iron. Quite a contrast in the tempo of these two players, Judy.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes the game so great. You can swing the way you want to swing.
Well, Charlie is a much fuller swinger than Area. But they both have a little pop to their swing.
Oh, yes, they do.
Don't mess around.
Yes, they do. And a good swing there.
Shut. Thanks.
Charlie, a lot more demonstrative. Area tends to be a bit more reserved. Outwardly, at least. Don't poke your eye with the sunglasses. Careful there. Ahead to 17.
A moment ago, Brittany Altamari for birdie. She's currently at 3 under. Coming off the birdie at 16. On a sweep to her right a little. Oh, didn't. Just hit it through the break. That was a good putt. That was just a moment ago, as we said. Now Lindy Duncan now live for her birdie. Hit a really good shot. A bit unlucky it hit in the fringe and kind of killed it from releasing to the hole. First birdie's at 1, 2, 5, 9, 14, 15, couple bogeys. So good solid start. This might wheel. I think it's a right edge putt. Just got to be firm with it. Coming off birdies at 14, 15. This would be 3 in a row, Judy.
I tell you, she just quietly goes about her business. She's not very talkative, maybe a little shy.
Three in a row.
Beauty.
There you go. Actually, 2 out of the last 3. Come off that bogey at 10. That's a good birdie at 17. Par 5 18th to play yet. Now let's comes third now here at the 15th.
Bit of a downhill lie in that rough, but not nearly as difficult a shot as the one she had a hole ago. Plenty of green with which to work. It'll roll a little left. It's just all about contact.
Oh, that was a terrible kick.
She did everything right except that.
Yeah, I mean, it was textbook form, but
it landed on the green. It wasn't like it hit the seam or something.
No.
Jim, the Rolex Women's World Golf Rankings in B Park supplanted Shan Feng in April after Shan had held that top spot since November of last year. Lee Linscomb 32nd, Nelly Korda 43rd. Area up 1 to 5th. Again, Area, like Brooke Henderson, plays almost every week. It's tough to move up in the rankings when you're playing every week. You have to keep replacing good events, and you go back a couple of years and Area was winning 3 times in the month of May. It's going to be hard for her to keep moving up.
But you know, you got to say, when you talk about the Rolex rankings, Shen was very humorous in the winter when things weren't happening. And I think the very first tournament of the year she did not play, and she actually moved up in the rankings. So she said, you know, this is a good thing being number 1.
Yeah, she kind of liked that now for birdie here at 15.
This one's slow. I think she has enough club. We'll see. It's very slow. Such a steep slope to putt up. She's taken about a half a backswing there. Looking well right of the hole.
15, 20 feet there is the slope. So like you said, that first portion's so slow. Full turn on that one. Not too bad judge of speed.
No, I don't think she wants that one over.
No, I don't think so. Got about a 3-footer for par, so pretty good judge of speed. Still a 3-way tie at the top of the lead at the LPGA Volvic Championship, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Golf Channel and the LPGA Tour welcome you back to the Great Lakes State. First of 2 trips to Michigan here in the next month. We'll be back Grand Rapids here in a few weeks. This is the LPGA Volvic Championship, 3rd edition. Grant Boone, Judy Rankin, Jim Gallagher Jr., Jerry Foltz, Gail Graham on a gorgeous day. They're just a few miles west of Detroit. They are playing preferred lies. The scores reflect it. Scoring average is just a touch under the par of 72. There's a look at the 18th. We take you over to the 16th, where Gail Graham is watching Area Jatanagarn.
And that lift clean in place gave Area the opportunity to pick this ball up and clean it. This is just going to slide just very slightly to her left.
I think she saw it like you saw it, but she pushed it.
Yeah.
Birdied both playoff holes last Sunday at Kingsmill. Nasa Hataoka also birdied the first of those holes, but Area won it. Back to 15.
Yeah, let's come now to save par at the 15th.
She hasn't hit a bad shot this hole. Still has this much work remaining, turning a little left.
There you go. She deserved that. As you said, didn't really hit any bad shots, just had bad results. It happens. Stays at 1 under par. Hataoka now, her second, looks like right out of the rough. This whole location in the front portion. Probably pretty tough to get it close on that lie. Man, she took a swing at it. Tried to loft it up nicely. Depends on the hit. Needs a release. Nope, bit unlucky, fell in the bunker. may not be able to stand in the bunker, so an awkward lie for her.
It could have hopped either direction.
Yep.
Let's update you on where things stand with the UL International Crown. Nasa Hataoka trying to help Japan win the 3rd edition of what has become a huge hit in women's golf. The top 8 teams will be solidified after the U.S. Women's Open next week, and then the 4 players on each of those 8 teams will be determined via the world rankings after the KPMG Women's PGA Championship at Kemper Lakes. Charlie Hull at the 16th, the par 3.
And she's given herself a few of these knee knockers. No doubt there.
Day 1 here in Ann Arbor. Let's run through a couple of pages of leaderboards. The 366s from the morning wave. And again, as you look at names like Amy Olson, Morgan Pressel, know that they are not yet in the U.S. Women's Open next week. So a lot to play for those players. You could either win it and get automatically in, or if you move into the top 50 in the world rankings, you would move in. Danielle Kang will defend her KPMG Women's PGA Championship in a few weeks' time. Lauren Kim, she was in a playoff in the NCAA Women's Championships a couple of years ago, and Stanford and Washington went overtime. Last night with the NCAAs, we had the overtime with Haley Moore and Mirabe Abe of Alabama. What a win for Arizona. Congratulations to them as we go to the tee at the 16th as the sun shines down, and we can't get enough of the sunshine.
That's fantastic out here. You don't want this day to end. 178 to the hole, 172 to get into that top tier. Although with a 6-iron, I don't think you're trying to fly it up there. Sounded a little loud, a bit of a pull.
Sit. Sit.
Now she cannot lift clean in place, so it still might. She still might go with her putter, but it's a little different situation.
Back to 15.
Georgia Hall now her second at the 15th. Perfect tee shot. On the flat. Currently 4 under par on her round. Birdie's in a bogey. Oh, this is a really nice shot. Couple good shots in there. So if you drive into fairway, get the perfect club, you can spin it just enough like she does, and a good uphill putt for birdie. For Georgia. Yeah, beautiful shot. Ariya Chutanakar now at the 17th tee.
And this hole 415. And once again, right down the center of the fairway.
Yeah, you can tell when she hits one. Kind of semi-recoil and perfect tee shot. Got to hit this fairway to have a chance to get it close to this whole location.
Absolutely.
Well, you may have been noticing some of the players wearing the black ribbons. That is because the LPGA Tour and the entire world of golf is mourning the passing on Sunday of Carol Mann, 38 times a winner on the LPGA Tour, a member of the LPGA Hall of Fame. Tall in stature, she cast a large shadow over the LPGA Tour in the 60s and 70s. She was LPGA president, and she is gone at the age of 77. Some of those great shots of her 6'3" kneeling down to talk to Patty Berg and others. Judy, there certainly were those 13 founders of the LPGA Tour, but there was a second wave. You were part of that, and so was Carol Mann, wasn't she?
Well, Carol was just a little bit older than I, but when I came on the tour when I was 17 years old was when I first met Carol, and we have been friends and friendly ever since. It's really touched me and touched a lot of people. That Carol had a bit of a hard time the last couple of years. I know her health was just not good, and she just kept going down. But she was such a significant person in golf and in women's golf, more significant than I think most people know. But she did serve as the president of the LPGA at a time when there were big changes in the LPGA. She was a bit of a visionary in that regard. Not everybody agreed with everything she thought, but she made a lot of things come to be in the early and mid-'70s. She worked in hospitality at a lot of big men's tournaments for years and years and years, taking groups of people onto the golf course who really knew nothing about golf. And she would talk to them and would introduce them to the game of golf, where they could really enjoy being a fan and maybe even want to play golf. And then she did so much work for the World Golf Hall of Fame. She didn't just have a position with the name Carol Mann. She really worked, and she traveled, and she did things. So she will really be missed. She's already been missed for a few years because she hasn't been real well.
Yeah.
But one of the really good people in the game of golf. She was a student of Manuel Della Torre, for those of you who remember, and she was quite the player and quite the person.
Hall of Fame member, LPGA legend, Carol Mann, gone at the age of 77.
Georgia Hall now for her birdie here at the 15th. Might be slightly going to her right just to get the 5 under par.
Looks good.
Yeah, 6:30 of the day. So a nice birdie at 15. Perfect tee shot set that up. Birdies in the last couple of holes, so. Up to 18.
Lindy Duncan, third shot at this par 5. Birdie here would give her a share of the lead.
It's just a wedge in hand.
Doesn't look overwhelmed by it. Back hole location, not hard to shoot it over there and miss the green long. Aired on the side of caution. A long birdie putt for a share of the lead coming up in a moment. Back 1 to 17.
Nasa Hataoka now for par, 15th in sand saves. So that second shot come up short, but this ought to break hard to the right. Great save. 5 birdies, no bogeys in the card as she heads to the 18th, the par 5. That's a really good up and down.
That's a warm putter today.
That's what I'm thinking. Up to 18.
Nice round going for Brittany Altamare, 3 under par. Of course, 3 under par is not great. It's relatively speaking, it's just good. Tied for 17th.
Go.
And that for a 68 playoff runner-up to Anna Nordquist at the rain-shortened Evian Championship last September. Let's go back to the 16th, Shan Shan Feng.
With putter from what we used to call the frog hair, a little bit downhill. Don't really know why we ever called it the frog hair, Judy.
I was going to say, would you research that? Because I always thought that was a pretty cool name,
It
frog
jumps
hair.
out of there, maybe?
Oh, now you hear Grant.
Oh, don't encourage him.
Grant will have an answer for us tomorrow.
This is not the only big event in golf going on in the state of Michigan. The KitchenAid Senior PGA Championship over at Benton Harbor, a couple of hours to the west of us. Our coverage continues tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, the second consecutive major championship on PGA Tour Champions. After Miguel Angel Jimenez won last week in Birmingham.
He sure did. Here we are now, her second shot here at the par 4 17th.
And Jim, she's got 148 to the hole. It's been tucked just a few yards from the right edge of the screen.
Great view right there.
An abbreviated follow through. And it's right at it.
I'd say no abbreviation there. Good shot. Difference of having it in the fairway there and having the length and the power she has.
3 players this morning shot 6 under par 66. One of those, Amy Olson, when she finished up, spoke with our Jerry Foltz.
Thanks, Amy Olson. 6 under par in round 1. A late bogey, but still nonetheless a round that I'm sure you're happy with. I heard you say this is your favorite stretch of the year. Why is that?
I just love being in the Midwest. Anytime I get to play on bent greens and have tree-lined fairways, I love that. I love this style of golf, and just happy to be in Michigan.
And you also have your coach, Ron Stockton. He followed you around pretty much the whole day today.
Yeah.
When you have the guy you trust the most with your golf game keeping such a close eye on you, do you think it makes you concentrate just that much harder?
Maybe a little bit. I love having him out here because whether I play great or if I make mistakes, he can see those and then we can go fix them. You know, so maybe some people feel a little more pressure when their coach is there. I'm like, great. If he sees the mistake, he knows what can go wrong and then we can go fix it. So I like having his eyes on me.
There's one other opportunity at stake this week for players in your position, and that is perhaps to get into the Women's U.S. Open next week. How much is that on your mind?
You know what? I would love to play. The U.S. Open is a great event, but at this point, it's going to be an off week with my husband, and that's not a bad alternative either.
All right, great playing today. Good luck the rest of the week.
Thanks, Jerry.
You bet.
You still say newlyweds? It was last summer that they got married.
We'll remind you she was Amy Anderson.
There you go. So here's Lindy Duncan for a share of the lead with Olson and the other two, Moria Jatana-Garner and Caroline Masson. Very nice opening round for Lindy Duncan. Duncan, Hataoka, we keep seeing these younger players posting good finish after good finish. Here's another tremendous young player, Georgia Hall at the par 3, 16.
It's a big deal to start feeling like you belong when you're a young player and you've come to the tour, and it's a big deal to start thinking about how you might play well instead of starting to think about, I got to make the cut.
We're at the par 5 6th, and this is Danielle Kang having a nice go of it today. How hard she went after that.
So nice.
It's going to be a tap in to get to 5 under. Finally had that breakthrough last summer in the Chicagoland area. Lindy Duncan tapped in for par at the 18th. This is Altamare for birdie. Huge rise in the world rankings, 180th at the beginning of 2017, and now she's into the 40s in the world rankings. Helped largely by that runner-up finish at the Evian Championship last September. Good start, 3 under par. Nasa Hataoka goes to the par 5 18th. She's got a chance to join the leaders. Who knows, maybe make an eagle. Should have thrown your weight around and demanded you, Lou.
The 17th green area, Jutanagar now. This is get the 3 under par.
Just a little uphill and slightly left to right.
Ooh, there. Okay.
I thought it was moving out of the hole, Jim.
Yeah, I was going to be quiet.
Wiggled it in there.
Yep, she sure did. Gets rid of 3 under. She goes to par 5, 18th. So missed a couple of opportunities there on 15, 16, but good birdie.
67. So with the herd and the bunker, it's going to play a little longer.
Yeah.
At least 75.
I was thinking
more.
I was thinking around 75 is what I was thinking.
How many behind the pin?
Well, it's only 6 on, so you've got directly behind it, you've got 13.
13, yeah, that's room.
13, plenty of room.
Shin second now?
Yes.
Just pulled the drive just a tiny bit. I mean, 2 or 3 yards right. It bounces right. It's in the fairway and it probably gets 20 yards a roll as it is. 173 with a 4 hybrid out of a fairway bunker. Not an easy shot.
No.
Go!
A little heavy.
Yeah, and the wrong side of the fairway to leave a decent angle. That's a tough pitch.
Yeah, it's a tough shot there, and just a tough pitch, as you said. Tough to make par.
To the bunker?
I think. That's all
thought
about
it was-
once.
Well, the good news is it's in the fairway.
I thought it was pretty short.
It might be. I think.
Okay, now at the 7th, par 3, the toughest hole today. Location on the front portion of the green, 194. Playing like that's not a very tough hole location. He's in a perfect spot, uphill putt for birdie for Danielle King. So good afternoon for her today. Up to 16.
Georgia Hall with a little pitch shot. Ooh.
Every little chip that we have seen has come out pretty quick and long. We have not seen anybody just nestle it up yet.
Jumped out of the frog hair. On the tee at the 18th, area Jutanagarn.
And once again with 3 wood.
I don't think there's any go at this green, though, today. Do you, Gail?
It's Aria. And if this doesn't catch the fairway, then I would agree with you. Yeah, she just put that in the left rough, so definitely will be a layup today, Judy.
They move the tee up here on the weekend. Give players a chance to go for this green in 2. Cheyenne Woods will be playing at the U.S. Women's Open next week. This is at the 16th, a chance to get into red figures.
And I'll tell you, qualifying for the Open 36 holes in a day is no easy feat.
Some good vibes. Her fellow Demon Deacon, Jennifer Kupcho, won the individual national championship. Cheyenne even par. It's right on the cut. She said I pulled it. at the 18th. Here's next year's European Solheim Cup captain.
Touch, should be off our right. Should be this way a little bit there. You can feel a bit behind us, though. Feels like something, doesn't it?
I'm wondering just a good wedge, think that can get up to that top.
Made the point last
33.
week.
What did we I'll give on 13. No, hang on.
13.
We had 34. Yeah, got there.
Yeah.
Said a bit more. Yeah, like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
Can't go long.
Anyway,
No,
made the point
no,
last
thank you.
week that Katrina has won close to $10 million in her career, and the entire time traveling back and forth to North Berwick, Scotland, and raising 2 daughters. So it's quite the accomplishment.
Katie in 2006, Chloe born in 2009, after which she then won the Rico Women's British Open.
Little pull, and when you pull it that little bit, it goes just that much farther.
Back to 16, and a par putt for Georgia Hall. 1 off the lead. The pitch got away from her just a bit. She'll drop back to 4 under. Contended at the Rico Women's British Open last year, where IK Kim eventually won it. And we've got a 3rd shot here for Nasa Hataoka at the 18th. A birdie would give her a share of the lead. Right on line, a little short. Great save at the 17th for par. 4 under on the back 9 here. 17.
Shin Shin Feng now her 3rd.
A little bit of an uphill lie, but I don't see hardly any way to get this real close. It's going to bounce left. That's a firm part of the green.
Yeah, took a bad kick. You're right. That was her 3rd shot, so it was really tough to get it up and down. Drove it in the fairway bunker. Didn't really have much there. Danielle Kang now for birdie here at the 7th. 2nd toughest hole. Only 31% of the field have hit this green regulation. This for a birdie in the share lead.
Well, she needs this because she has been fairly frustrated at not winning again, not contending often enough since that big Women's PGA win.
Yeah, sometimes you put your pressure on yourself. You try to play there's higher expectations on your own. I know Craig Perks went through that after he won the Players. You see a lot of players put that extra pressure. I'm supposed to play like a major champion. And that's a tough thing to do, but having a good solid afternoon nonetheless for Danielle Kang. Still a 3-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. LPGA Volvic Championship. 17th hole, Shin Feng now for par.
A little bit back uphill, maybe turning slightly right, not much.
Good speed. Oh, she tugged it maybe a little. Now, tee shot got her in trouble and just had really no opportunity. She's going to have to make a 10 or 15 footer for par. Georgia Hall now here at the 17th. Playing 415. Got to get it in the fairway to get the ball close with this whole location on the front portion. 4th on tour and total driving this season, so very consistent with the driver. And I may have said it too early. I'm going to give her the fairway even though it's in the first cut.
I
It
think
wasn't a
that's
bad
fair.
drive. Yeah.
All right, birdie putt for Katrina Matthew. I think I called her second daughter Chloe, not Sophie, as it is. It was after Sophie was born that she won, just 2 months after she won the Rico Women's British Open. And how about how well she played as a late add to the European Solheim Cup team when Suzanne Pedersen couldn't
Oh, yes.
go?
Oh, yes. She has been a really good player for a long time. And actually, if she were a little stronger closer, she would have a long list of victories.
Well, we may have spoken too soon about Ariya Jutanugarn, whether or not she's going to go for this 18th. There is water all up along the right side of this 18th hole. Ariya can do things that most can't.
That's a good way of putting it, Grant. She certainly can. She's 252 to the front of the green.
And up on the green is Nasa Hataoka for a share of the lead.
You know, though, in the case of Ariya, I mean, sometimes you would say the front left bunker isn't a bad spot, but with this hole location, I don't think it's a great spot.
She played in the final group at the Lotte Championship back in April. Got into a playoff last week at Kingsmill. This for a share of the lead. But a nice start, 5 under par 67, if that tap in is true. Just keeps racking up rounds in the 60s. That is 5 straight rounds in the 60s. And she has our Sam Dessous refreshing round of the day. This was at the par 4 13th. Difficult hole location. She made it look a little easier than it was. Then at the par 4 15th. Two of her 4 birdies on the back 9, and this was another of them. The 16th. That took her to 5 under par, and she had a nice up and down from the front right bunker at 17. Our Sam Dessous refreshing round of the day. Back we go to that 17.
Yeah, Cheyenne Woods, her second shot, currently even par on her round today. Perfect tee shot. Expected a lot more from her when she got out here, but sometimes it takes a little longer for others. Really good college career. And there's a good shot. That'll get things started there.
I sometimes think with Cheyenne, she has such a sweet nature.
Yes.
She almost needs to get a little angry once in a while.
Yeah, it's tough to change that, but you're right.
Yeah.
Looks like the 3-wood for Ariya Jutanugarn Gale as the 18th clears.
She's got a pretty nice lie. I would call it thin. Rolled it up to a spot where the ball is sitting up not too badly. 252 front, 276 all the way back to that hole. And Judy, I don't think the hazard on the right from the angle that she's at, I don't think she even sees it as being in play. It's not even something that's visually there for her. So
right. We're right behind her, Gail.
Uh-oh.
And that's going left.
A little double cross.
Actually, would probably be a great angle into that flag.
It's over by the free ice cream dispenser.
Yeah.
which we sampled yesterday. Take another look here, Judy.
Yeah, well, she's set up right at that left-hand bunker, and I think would like to hit a little bit of a cut. But we're going to see her kind of make that move where she goes, swings the club left early. Didn't really come over at the top, but sort of released it early from the top.
Last week, she seemed to have the tournament in hand, up a couple shots, and got to the par 5 15th, tugged a 2-iron, wound up making bogey.
Well, the vast majority of the time, if there's a miss, it's to the left.
17th.
Yeah, Georgia Hall's second here at the 17th. That's starting a little left. Speaking of left. Well, that's not too bad. She kind of...
Good miss.
That was, yeah, she got a little angry with that. Early called her. She early called it, but early this morning, a lot of good scores with 3 rounds of 66. They're at the top of the leaderboard at the LPGA Volvic Championship.
Par 3 16th. This is 31-year-old Julieta Granada from Paraguay.
That's a better little chip from
Yes,
the edge.
best we've seen, isn't it? To the 18th, and Gail, have you had a look at this one?
Yeah, it's sitting down a little bit. Definitely an uphill lie, side hill uphill, 59 yards to the hole. Key to get comfortable over the shot before you decide to make a swing at it.
Gail, nobody's really been getting the ball close to the hole, so, you know, maybe this was a good idea.
Well, it needs to go a little further than that, Judy. Ooh, it got a big kick, but yeah, you know, if you could maybe on a little bit flatter lie, she really could have had a go at chipping it close, but.
Let's go to the 17th.
Yeah, Georgia Hall now for birdie. It's been a tough read for the players today. This to get to -5. 1 shot back. Hopped a little on her. Got left early. Never got it started on the line. Kind of how the second shot came out of the fairway, so trying to stay out of everybody's line. Okay, solid 4 at the 17th. Should have had the 18th, 4 under par.
Back in Georgia Hall's homeland of England, It is the flagship event for the European Tour, the BMW PGA Championship. Rory McIlroy off to a good start. Our coverage continues tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern Time. 17.
Yeah, Cheyenne Woods for birdie. Had a great shot in there. She and Catherine Kirk and Chilla Troy visited the C.S. Mott Children's Hospital. You talked about a sweet nature, and that was a really neat visit for them, and it really touched your heart to see those children. It was nice to see those LPGA players go out there and maybe put a little brighter day into those children's lives. But -1 for Cheyenne. She goes to 18.
Danielle Kang having a nice afternoon. 17th hole of the day. Second shot at the par 4 8th. We'll stay up on that proper tier and give her a good look.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
We're looking, Gail, at the 18th in area Jatanagarn with a birdie attempt from just off the green.
And it's not long, but it's downhill, got a bit of a swing to it from right to left and then straightening out. But I'm kind of surprised she didn't move it a little closer to the green with her lift clean in place. Yep. She's got probably 7 or 8 feet of fringe to go over, frog hair as Jerry called it, but that may actually help her slow the ball down a little bit as it goes down this hill.
Well, she's going to play the 4 par 5s in 1 under, which doesn't seem like it matches her prodigious length. But of course, she doesn't use the driver very often.
Probably 2 under would be
average,
the way she should play them, and just a little bit something going on one day, she can birdie all of them.
Good start, though, after winning last week. Her 8th victory in the last 24 months. An amazing run that at one point took her to #1 in the world. Her big sister Maury at Jatanagarn has a share of the lead. Day 1 LPGA Volvic Championship in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Good putt.
much.
What?
Too enthusiastic.
You're just kissing up. It's not going to work.
Too late.
Not when it's so blatant.
Oh, I know. Jeez. Even I caught that one.
I got cavities out here.
At the 18th, the par 5, and this is defending champion Shan Feng.
And just a slight little error on the layup, about 3 inches too far. Otherwise, would have been able to basically tee this up and spin it as it is from this first cut of rough. Not so easy to get it close with a wedge. That from 122 yards. Oh my goodness, what was that?
Oh my.
It didn't appear to hit the hosel. It just kind of scooped it, Judy.
I didn't see where it finished, Jerry.
It's 35, 40 yards short of the hole, almost in the water hazard.
Weird. To the 8th, and for a share of the lead, Danielle Kang. Look at that go.
Well, she liked it.
Rolling
But
past. And Danielle Kang is beginning to show a little form. 17th last week at Kingsmill, all 3 rounds in the 60s. Let's show you the current top 6 for the U.S. in the world rankings, which will determine the UL International Crown team. There you see Kang, 5 spots in the world rankings behind Michelle Wie, who's not here this week. Christy Kerr, Lexi Thompson not here either. Lizette Salas is here. She is in contention as well. Brittany Lincecum is 32nd. And again, the top 8 teams will be determined after next week, but the players for those 8 teams won't be determined until Kang defends the KPMG Women's PGA Championship, again in the Chicagoland area where she won it last year. Olympia Fields last year, Kemper Lakes this year. Third shot for Brittany Lincecum at the par 5 18th.
85 yards with her lob wedge, her most lofted wedge. First bounce might just ricochet a little left. So she flew it up top, flew it just a hair too far, and going to pay the price.
No one's really gotten it close, Judy.
we haven't seen anyone get it close, and it's everything from a full wedge to something shorter in.
America's Got Talent is back with creator and judge Simon Cowell alongside Mel B, Heidi Klum, and Howie Mandel. Don't miss an all-new season Tuesday, 8 o'clock Eastern on NBC. 17.
Granada here, second shot at the 17th, currently 3 under par.
A fairway medal in there, though. That is playing long for her.
Yeah, it's not going to hold, though. Look at that release. Just no way, like you said, 39th at the low is her best, but no way to get that close with that club into that whole location today. And that's the miss you got to have, though. Let's go back to 18.
And there's Shan Feng trying to figure out A, what happened, and B, now how to hit a 4th shot.
I think she just fatted it out of that rough, and well, there's really the only way I think to get this ball close is to hit the flagstick. Short-sided from this angle, it's going to land on a downslope, and if she goes at the flagstick, which you're inclined to do from such a short distance, getting it on the green would be a very good shot.
Yeah, a little left of the hole would, if she could just, give herself an 8-footer to the left of the hole.
That'd still be a fantastic shot.
Yeah. So, Jerry, 2 gloves. The black one she's using for the long shots.
Yeah, and she carries a putting glove. She switches to a different glove to putt, and I'm assuming this is her putting glove.
Still not on the green.
Yeah, I tried getting really cute with it. She had to try and get it close, but...
Well, her Caddy Knows Best episode was epic. Let's see how the defending champion handles a quick 9 with George Savarikas.
Time now for Quick 9 with Shan Feng. Let's start the clock right now. Favorite club in your bag?
Driver.
Best city on tour?
Los Angeles.
Last time you wore your bronze medal?
End of last year.
How many pieces of cow printed clothes do you have?
Skirt, pants, shorts, and maybe a couple tops, so 5.
How long were your ears ringing after firing the cannon at the 2013 CME Group Tour Championship?
I actually had my ears blocked.
If you weren't a professional golfer, what are you doing with your life?
Wow, anything that can make a lot of money, I guess.
That's Quick 9 with Shen Peng.
Which is why her nickname is Jenny Money. For more of those, you can visit golfchannel.com/quick9. Birdie pitch for Lincecum.
Yes, we are not kidding. She calls herself Jenny Money.
Talking about Shan, Brittany has had some weird stuff happen today. Some shots that didn't go the way she thought.
A lot of bad bounces and a couple of wicked lip outs for Brittany. Just feeling like one of those days where nothing goes your way. Still fighting it out pretty good, hitting it nicely. Shan trying to avoid really limping in here these last 2 holes. And going with the putter from the, yes, we got to go with it now, Judy, frog hair. I think we came up with that phrase a couple generations ago, because there's the apron or the fringe, whatever you want to call it, and then the primary rough, and it's the cut in between, which technically now we call the intermediate cut, but I like frog hair way better.
For par.
It's an interesting club choice, maybe the best one. I don't know.
Ooh.
That was always going to be risky, but I think she felt more comfortable with it.
Still not in. The defending champ made bogey, but she had a little room last year on the 72nd hole. She's got that for bogey and a weird 18th hole. Great day for Moria Jatanagarn, Caroline Masson, Amy Olsen. Good scores in the morning and in the afternoon. Danielle Kang, maybe with a birdie at 9. She could join the leaders. Today's coverage is brought to you by Vivid XT, official ball of World Long Drive for explosive distance. Volunteers of America, helping America's most vulnerable. And by Prudential, official financial services provider of the LPGA.